Hey, Vic, good morning. Good morning, everyone. We have more people in the room. Yeah. We'll be live in a few seconds. Okay, good morning, traders. Welcome to our trading room. We're going live on YouTube. Today is the final day of the 5 days that we were live. You have one more live session this afternoon in the New York sessions. Hope you can join me, 8 a.m. New York time. If you do have the time, join. If you missed any of the webinars, they're all on YouTube, so you can watch them. And some of them are worth rewatching. Some of them are really worth watching because there's a lot of educational stuff inside the videos themselves. Like someone might ask a question, I'll be answering it. Since we're in the last day, let me answer the last question I got this morning. Someone was asking me if they get live access to the trading room when you join the installment program. Actually, you get live access, but you only get live access twice a day. That is the 8 a.m. London session and the 8 a.m. New York session. For the rest of the time in the trading room, which works 24/7, only full-time members get access to that. So when you complete your payment and you become a full-time member, for the rest of your life, you have free access to that room. And it's a trading room where we trade. We do exactly what we do here, sometimes in more details than we do it here, because I would not be giving all this stuff while I'm doing a YouTube video here. But it's very similar. If you like what we do here, then you should like what we do in the trading room much more. Right? If you like being here with me, then you would absolutely love being in the trading room with all the other traders, because those guys are much more happier people than I am. Right? I'm a happy person, but basically they're very nice people. I mean, if you're in the room with all the other guys, you definitely have some good friends, and you have some friends for life. I mean, friends that definitely will be, true friends for life. So when you're joining the trading room, you have to consider all of that. That you have lifetime access to the room. You don't have to pay a single cent for the rest of your life, except for the $4 a month you would have to pay for the platform we are using, that is Workplace. And that has nothing to do with me, basically, because we will be changing that platform. Facebook is closing down Workplace, so we will change it to another one. In my entire life here, there's only one person who complained about that and ended up leaving the trading room because he didn't want to pay $4. And not that he didn't have the money, because we were willing to pay it for him. If you don't have the money, we pay it for you. We don't let anybody leave the room because of that. One single person decided, I should pay it for him for the rest of his life because he paid for the course. Well, we tell him we will pay it for you. Just send a message to Victor and said, hey, I can't afford to pay it. And that created a firestorm. Yeah, I've never seen someone got angry by me telling him just send a message and say you can't afford to pay it. He found that very insulting, and that created a firestorm. So please, if that would be a problem for you, tell me in advance and we'll pay it for you. Right. So that's on the non-serious part of this webinar. Anyway, that said, let's go. Let's go make some money. I think yesterday, if you took the silver trade, remember I explained what is going to happen with silver and how we would look at it. So what we do every day here is we review the trades we did the day before, or the session we did before. So if it's a London session, we'll review it in the New York session. If we do any mid session, we'll review it and then we'll go. So this is not a case where we said, hey, do this, but then we don't come back and tell you what happened to it. That happens a lot on YouTube, right? You see people come in. A lot of YouTube videos that I have seen is where people have a lot of hindsight trading. They'll come and say, oh, well, we sold this and we bought this and we made a lot of money and we did this and we did. And I'm like, okay, great. I understand you did that and I trust that you were right about it and you're an amazing trader. Show me what you're going to do next. And most of them don't want to show you what they're going to do next. And if they do show you what they're going to do next, you never heard what's the result of what they did next. See, that's the difference in our trading room. And the most important thing you would learn here is that I'm here all the time, right? As some of the people who leave me very angrily would say he's a scammer and he doesn't trade and all kinds of stuff they will say. Well, I am still here and I still can answer for everything I do. I can answer for everything I do because you can see that in this week. I will show you a trade. I'll tell you why we closed the trade. I'll tell you whether it's a winning trade. I'll tell you whether it's a losing trade. I'll tell you whether you should have closed that. And we have actually done that live in some of the videos itself. So if you're watching this video for the very first time because you accidentally stumble on it, go back and watch all the videos for this week. And if you want to know whether you should join us, then after watching all that video, I think you should be able to make that decision. If not, go watch some more of my videos. Now, the method we're using is called wave analysis. This specific way at looking at wave is something I created way back in the days when I was learning Elliott wave. When I was studying Elliott wave theory and I was studying Dow theory and I was studying all the ways of how you can make money trading or how you should find an advantage trading, I came up with this method. There are many ways, I'm not going to go through the whole long story. I've repeated it many times before how I came up with it. And like most findings in the world, they're accidental. My finding of looking at waves this way was very accidental. But from that moment to now, it has developed quite a lot. So some of you would ask me in the past why I don't label it, why I don't do all of this. I've removed all of that. Why I don't use Fibonacci? Well, I've removed it. Why? Because I've learned that they're useless. The more I study the chart and the more I do this, the more I learn that the less you put, the better it is. The more you understand what's actually happening in the chart, the less you need to put on your chart. You don't need to put all those moving averages and all those support and resistance and all those Fibonacci and all those Ichimoku cloud and all those nonsense, whatever else you can imagine you can put. You can put anything you feel like imagining it. But there's no need to do that. The more you become good at it, the less you want to put on the chart. The more you can visualize what it's going to do. Because you study the past, and because the past repeats itself, you would see in the future. And sometimes you can literally see what it's going to do because we don't only make one direction forecast, we make 3-4 direction forecasts, which means we're saying that it's likely going to go up and down and up and down and it's going to do this. And that is not something you can guess. You can guess one direction at any given time. At any given time, any one of us can say it's going to go down and the chances of it going down might be 50%. Right? But you can guess 3 or 4 directions at the same time and hope to be right about it. So if you follow us, follow how I'm making my forecast and the directions I'm showing and how I'm changing them so you can see that this stuff actually works and it can work for you. That's it. Let's go. So remember silver. Let's go through silver and oh, sorry. 1 second. Let me just get it. Where's my drawing tool? Yeah. Remember when we were in this? We told you this will have to come down like that one. It did come down. If you were in the trade, you closed that trade. I told you this would come a little, but you probably don't want to think it because it might just be one more if it comes a little here and then go back up still. It went back up, but it went back like this. And yesterday, remember the last thing I said, you can sell this, but it's probably going to give you one of this to the downside like this. And at that point, it should probably go back up because it's more of in a consolidation than it is in it. It came a little lower. So if you took the trade, great for you. You got an extra piece of it. It came much more. You probably would have closed that trade somewhere here. Even before this one happened, you would have closed the trade because once it started to go back, you'll assume that that could go out of the structure. Now we are actually going up. It's a little aggressive. It's the difference. You can see the difference of this going up from the difference of this going up, right? So this is going up aggressive. Now the question is you're going to ask, can this go out of the structure? I don't think so. I'm looking at the pattern the way I'm seeing it, and I don't think that is going to go out of the structure because even if you take this as a 1, 2, 3, and this one is a 1, you have a 1, 2, 3 down. You need to get this one here. What we're looking for is that sharp move there. That should complete the pattern here and then come back down. And the downside might even be a 1, 2, 3. See? Now, why all of those 1, 2, 3 and all of that? There's nothing to all those 1, 2, 3. The market is not trying to do that for us. But all the market is doing is filling orders. Orders are being filled in this range. Looking at this range this way, orders are being filled in that range. But what we have learned when we looked at the market and we studied it is that there is some kind of order to the chaos, right? So although it looked chaotic in the first thing that, okay, it could go anywhere and it's random, there is an order to the randomness. And we have studied that the way these orders are being filled creates specific patterns. So I'm looking at it and said, what are the chances it's going to repeat what it did previously? Now, it might not, and that's okay. But the trade I'm looking for is not any one of these small trades. The trade I'm looking for is when you go into higher time frame. If it's consolidating here, where should it go? Now, the last time it consolidated like that was this one. The last time, this was the smaller ones, right? The last time you got a bigger consolidation like that, it went straight out. So my question is this going to go out? And like I said just now, I don't think it's ready to go. What if I'm wrong? Then would I miss the trade? No. If I'm wrong, what will happen with this as it's going up is at some point it will start to consolidate like this one here. See that? Or like this consolidation. If I get this consolidation, I am in the trade to the upside. Because I believe after an impulse like this, if you get a flag, it is going to go. Now, you may ask another question. What if it doesn't make that? Can it still go out? Yes. Well, then you have to buy it here. Because if it breaks through this, the confirmation of this taking off like a rocket is pretty good. Why this point? There's no specific reason for that point, but that was the last point from where it dropped, giving you an impulsive move to the downside. So what you're saying is that there was a huge sell order here that dropped it to this point before you found a buy order there. There are a lot of orders being filled in between, but I'm talking about the huge orders that turn the market, right? Orders are being filled a lot there. If you go in the 1 minute or the 1 second, you're going to see thousands and hundreds of thousands of orders are being filled. But what I'm looking for is the point where there was a disbalance, where there was a stronger amount of to put it in the other direction. So it was going up, and the big order came in there to fill all the buy orders and drop it to this point. But at this point, there ought to have been a really big buy order or no sell orders. There was a disbalance of the orders that drove it back up. So I'm saying, well, how do I know there's going to be more orders that it's going to drive it straight through to the upside? How do I know that the big buy order still comes here that is going to drive it through? Well, if that is going to happen, my entry order will go here. That tells me if you reverse all of this and you pass through that point, all the sell orders are probably filled, right? And the only thing that would be here is really strong buy orders to keep driving it. As you can see that happened in the past here. Look here. Let's take this one, for example. See, once they pass this, look what happened. Look at this one. Look at this sharp one here. Once they pass through that, look what happened. See? So once they pass through that, the chances are you're going to get an impulsive move to the upside. The size of the impulse is irrelevant at this moment. We'll talk about that when we look at the 4 hours. But that possibility exists. Now, I don't really want to buy it here because what I've also learned from experience is that once this impulse goes through, all it needs to do is break this top. And then from that point, the sell orders could be there reversing it. Why? Well, we have seen that in the past. I don't know any specific reason why. I can tell you that we've seen that in the past. And especially if you're a very, very top of a structure, maybe there's a psychological factor in the market to that. You don't need to know the why. You need to understand how it works. Because the why is not your problem. If you're searching for the why, become a journalist or something. Because you're looking for reasons. You're not looking to take advantage. We're looking to take advantage of what we know and not why it's happening, right? Because we're not going to know that. So if this is to take off, we're going to buy here. But before I buy here, I want to know that is there a possibility this thing is going to go much more, enough to give me an advantage in trade? And then I'll go to the 4 hour and said, oh yeah, there is. There is a lot more. Because like this small one here, we have a bigger one here. See that? It's the same thing. It came this way, and you made a really big move down. What are the chances we go out and break this top? Well, I would like this trade. See? I would love that trade. And that means that is the trade I will go for. So that buy there is okay. I'm good with that buy. Worst case is going to do something like this and then pull back like this one here did. Something broke the top there. You see it broke the top and then pull back. And then pull back to come and retest the low. And then that's okay. I have enough skills and enough knowledge and enough rules on how I'm going to get out of that trade for positive. Done that a million times already. So what is good for me now is not to take the trade there, but to take the trade inside here. So we'll go in a lower time frame on the 15. And if I was in front of the chart at any given time, this would have been the first buy. Because this is your impulse and that's your flag. Now, since we missed that one, you're going to get another small one here. I don't want to take the second small one because after it made enough of this, it will either make a bigger one or it's going to drop. Follow the analysis carefully. You see what I said now? It can drop again. So when it makes another one up, I'll pull a line like this. When it makes another one up, it's going to do one of the two things. It's either going to go sideways. That means orders are being filled in this range. The buys and the sells are more or less equal. And should that break, I want it to break to the upside. So I will have an entry order here. Should it break downwards, this is not going to happen. What is going to happen is this will start to drop immediately. You're not going to go sideways. The disbalance is going to come as soon as this go up here, hit the buy order like this one here, hit the sell order, and that will drop it. Now, can I sell that? Absolutely. We have the skill levels to take that sell as well, because that sell is going to come to break this low. 80% of the time, that sell will drop beyond that low. Remember, there are two things going to happen. It's either going to go sideways or it's going to drop. Now, how we're going to sell that? Okay, stick around to the end of the webinar or by the New York session. I'll show you how we do that. We can actually put a sell order right now for my traders. You can put it under the last impulse, which is going to be here, but that is only for skilled traders. I mean, extremely skilled traders. You can put the sell order right there right now. If you have no idea what that order means by putting it there or how you're going to manage that trade, don't repeat that. Traders who are serious and who's experienced, not serious, who are experienced enough to understand what I'm talking about can put the sell order right there right now. And the chances are we're still going to be in a bigger consolidation downwards. We would look at it as a possible running flat with this one. Because this has its own 1, 2, 3. Let me just take out this one so it doesn't confuse you. This one belongs to this, right? So this is its own 1, 2, 3 here. That's the up move. This is 1, 2, 3 down with some corrections inside. I don't think this is the equivalent. That is too small for this one. So we'll go with this is possibly the equivalent. And if this drop, it's going to drop like that. If it stays here, we'll just assume we'll go back to this one if it stays there, and then we'll go with this to the upside. So we're looking for a buy. Right now it's standing as a sell setup. This is an active sell trade. But with the intentions of that by this afternoon, it might not be a sell rather than a buy. Now, what are the chances it could come tag you here and then start to go back up? Now, if you're paying attention to what I was saying, when it tags you here and go back up, it will probably come back here. Remember I said, if it goes sideways, we're buying. And this is where your skill level has to come in to decide when and how you're going to get a hell out of the sell for a very, very small loss, or even break even or even positive, and then go for the buy. Now, if you remember, we did that already, right? For the last week, we did that like about 10 times. We did it on the euro, we did it on the pound, we did it on a few more trades where I showed you, okay, close the trade now for positive and wait for the opposite direction. So that's your first lesson for the day. And that's all you need to know for today in terms of how to trade. Now, that sounds very easy. What I showed you there sounds like, oh, this thing is easy. I can go do it. And now it's pretty easy as long as you have the vast knowledge of wave analysis, of patterns, and all the rules of how you're going to trade them. If you have all of that, it's pretty easy. If you don't, then you still have to learn all of that. You have to go through the practice session, which will take you about a year to get it, to fix it, to practice it, to implement it correctly, and then to trade it and make money. Let's go. So we're going to put that as a sell. Let's see, dollar index. Okay, dollar index, this was a nice buy yesterday. If you took it, it's kind of pulling back. There was a sell here. I don't think you want this sell because this is correcting against this one. This is still pretty deep. This one is sharp. We don't have anything, so it could go up one more and pull back. This might be an upside. There's a good chance it's probably going to go up. It's coming down really fast. This is going up. If we were making a bigger flat here, which is possible, if it's making a bigger flat here, this will probably go up and stay here for a while, come back to the bottom, go back up and drop. If it stays in this range, we'll look for the buy. Right now, there's no setup on it. You don't want to sell it. You don't want to buy it. There's nothing there. Let's see where we are in the 4 hours. Okay, we may or may not break that low. Most likely, we're going to break the low. So this might end up being a flat. This piece might end up being a flat. I don't think it's going to drop right now. This is too sharp for it to drop, so it's probably going to consolidate in here for a while. There's no trade set up in it right now. So we already did silver. Let's wait. Gold. Gold didn't go up. This one we were expecting to give us one more there. It didn't happen. You're getting it here, so it's probably go for a running flat. It could most likely be a running flat with this. And I wouldn't put these two together. I don't think those two fit. This is a very small one. So there's a lot of small one here. I'm going to pull this trend line. This would probably still be a sell setup. Oh, sorry, take that out. This here might still be a sell setup, short term, which means I think this one might come down more. I hope we get a sudden drop to complete this one. It's coming down slow, right? Right at this moment, it's coming down slow. Right, we're looking for this sudden drop, but what if it comes down slow, which means it's going to work its way down like that, but we will get it. So if we get a sell set up here today, it will have to be in a 5 minutes. This would worth taking because you could get that drop and then go back up, completing this one. Right, so there could be that sudden drop. If it's going to break out, you can use, I'll take off these are useless. I'll put an entry for a buy there. Right, we'll see if we get a buy at that point. We don't need the bottom here because we passed through the top already. And this was a buy. We don't need it also. Take that out. So if we get any flag here for the buy, same thing like silver, we'll take it. You can keep this entry here. Better to get the flag. And you can go into 5 minutes for the sell setup. So if we're going to get a sell setup, the 5 minutes buy here would have been a great one if anybody was paying attention for this correction of this. Right? I don't think we'd probably take the second one. I wouldn't be, because after this, you know that this could drop. Right? So it's kind of consolidating here. If this becomes a big consolidation, and I mean a bigger one than these two, if it becomes a big consolidation, we'll buy it. If it remains a small one, we'll see if we can take a drop. This is already not good. This is already going back to the top. So the chances are this one will eventually come here, and then go back up. If it's as small as these two, probably ignore it. If it becomes much bigger, we buy it. So you want a 15 minutes consolidation for the buy. For the sell, you can use the last impulse. You can use the last impulse should it suddenly drop. I don't think it will, but if they suddenly drop from here without going back to the top, we can put that for a sell. It's not going to tag you unless it drop, right? And if it drop, then the likelihood is going to drop through to the bottom. And we will put it with this one as a running flat. Very similar pattern because this most likely is part of this one coming here. 1, 2, 3. This is sharp. This is corrective. This is sharp. So that sudden drop could happen. So we'll put it as an active sell, but you will monitor it very closely. But it's an active sell and you'll monitor it very closely. If we get a 15 minutes correction here, we're buying it. Euro. They all have very similar patterns. So euro is kind of coming up. There was a flag here. It broke the top. It's kind of pulling back. This looks like it's going to be a correction. I don't think this will drop. See, there's a sharp one here. So this will probably come here and go back up. And if we get this, we'd look for a sell setup from here. Probably not going to go up, right? So this pullback here might still be part of this here. We'll look at it that way. So you're going to get a 1, 2, 3. This will be 1 because this is a very smaller version of it inside of this. This would be the bigger correction, and then it could drop. So take this off. By the way, yesterday, remember I said, for those of you who were in when this was coming down, we're not going to sell it until it pull back. We're not going to sell this until it goes back up for this. And then you can sell for a running flat. Right? So let me bring that into 5 minutes and you can see. This was it, right? So this was coming down yesterday. And I said, let this go. Don't sell it. Wait for this up move back. Let it give you that up move. And then pull this and put the entry under this one for the sell. See? Why they always make those up move? Well, don't ask me why. That's part of how the patterns work, right? That's how we see it on a regular basis. So we always wait for that pullback and then go for the trade. So this one is dropping here, but okay, this could be a complete pattern of its own here. So if this dropped beyond the point, we look for a sell. I wouldn't go with this sell. I don't think this would be the good sell here. Let it make a small flag under because that's a 5 minute chart. You want a small flag before you go. If you want to sell to the bottom, it might not be a good idea. Right? So let's see if we can get a 5 minutes flag here to sell. If you want to put it on the bottom, that is we're assuming it's going to be a long term. We're at the top, by the way. Why not? Yes, we can do that. Put an entry here. You're going for the big trade if it makes a sudden drop. For now, you're keeping there, keep it there. But if you can get a smaller flag here, this is how much pips? That's 32 pips. You can get a flag inside. So if we can get a flag inside here to confirm the drop, take the trade. But for now, we can put it here because remember, this is the very top, right, of the bigger 4-hour. We broke this top already. All right, let me just get a line here. We broke this already. And that could be a reversal point. So we're going to put an entry for a sell here. And we'll keep track of it. I don't want to put it earlier into this because there is a chance it can pull back here and go back up, make a bigger correction. But if it's going to drop now, we'll be in a trade. Pound. Pound is back at the top. Don't sell it. It's coming back here. It's probably going to come here, but I want this thing to prove it's not a flat. It came back to the top, so we're not selling this. Even if it comes here, it's probably going to do this and go back up. This could be a flat of its own, or this whole thing here could be one big flat. But this is telling us the chance of this going back up is pretty high. So the sell here would not be worth it. So we wait. We're going to leave the pound alone. We're not going to trade it. There's no buy or sell setup in it. Leave it. Aussie. Aussie came down a lot, much more than I thought it would come. I just thought it would probably come like break this low and then go through. We still haven't gone up to the top. We're coming back. There's one deep pullback on Aussie we are looking for. That is this one. I don't think it's equivalent. Let me see if we can put it to be the equivalent of that. We're looking for something like this. Let's see. You can make an argument for that, or it could drop one more. Let's look in the 5 minutes, see what this looks like. I don't think I like this sell on this one, because even if it drop, it might just break the low and go back up. But if we get a buy setup here, we'll definitely take it. If this becomes a consolidation here in a 15 minutes, this would be a perfect buy setup, because we know there's one more spike to the top here to break that top, and that means the buy is a good idea. This sell here, I think we'll rather go with the euro sell because the euro broke the top already. Aussie hasn't broke the top. So the euro sell would be a better trade than the buy. Oh, you took the sell in the euro yesterday. Well done. So let's go. Okay, there's a question in YouTube. I will answer all those questions afterwards. Let me finish first this thing. We'll take the questions just now. So if I miss it, just remind me. Aussie. So it might drop, and there's a very good chance it's going to drop, but it's a better sell on the other one, unless we get a good flag here. If it reverses this and make a flag, if it reverses that and make a flag here, we'll consider the sell. We'll consider sell. It could be a deeper pullback and then go. New Zealand, definitely a sell setup. This thing is going up really, really slow. So it's probably gonna drop from there. Not necessarily a good sell, right? You can see that even if it drops, it's probably just gonna come here and then you get something like this for the upside. So I think we leave it. They're better sells. The euro is still a better sell than the New Zealand. So I think we don't have any big move pullback in the New Zealand except for this one. And this is not exactly doing that. So let's leave it alone. How much pips is the move? Let's see. 30 pips. By the time you get a flag, it's going to be about 15 pips. So if you want, the trade might be still valid. I'll take this off. CAD. CAD went higher. This one didn't drop. So it's not a running flat, at least in that point. I think we will take this as the low then, since this is more like a small pullback consolidation. We'll put this with something in the past. You can even put that as a smaller flat by itself. So let's take this as the low. Because if it goes that high, it's probably the low. So this would just be a deep correction. It's still a correction for downside. Remember, CAD still has a lot more downside. This is just a deep correction for downside. So we'll put an entry order above here for the buy. Why I put it there? Because it could take off. I don't think it will take off because I don't think this is all the consolidation. There is a small consolidation here. I don't think that is all. There's a good chance it's probably going to come here, come back here, and then go. In that case, we're going to buy it here, or we'll see if we get a buy setup from here. So should it go there, come back here, break this low, then go, it would be closer to the bottom. We'll get a bigger flat here, and then the sell. So let's see how deep this come. We'll decide if we want the buy, and then we'll definitely go for the sell. Any sell setup on this would be a trade we'll take. So it's coming down, and we need to see how deep that goes. You need to see how deep this works. Can we put this as a running flat? I don't like it so much. It might be. So if we get a flag here, should we sell it? I think we'll take that chance if it gives us a flag there. Right? Go back to the 15 and see if it makes a flag here. You would need a really good flag to sell, right? You need this to stay in here for a while. And or even if it makes a small flat like that. Whichever comes, right? A flag or a flat, and we're going for that sell. If it goes back to the top, to create this flat, then let it come back here, and then we look for this buy to break out and then downside. Right? So right now, there is no trade on this as well. If it's crawling down, let it come back to the low and go up. Then we'll sell it. So I'm going to take this off for now. We will look for a sell setup, but we don't have any trade right now. Swiss is going to go up. It's more of a big flat. Right? This is making a big flat here for upside. We can see it. You can put an entry order here to buy if you want. Let's see how high it's going to go. Where we think it can go. Just a deeper pullback in this. Not very high. We're coming to break this low, so it's just a correction. Right? This can just probably do something like that and drop. Might not even go that high. So if you take the trade, just take it with caution. It's making a flat here, and then we're going to get a drop. Do we have any news event today? Let me check 1 second. Oh, we have 3:30. We have CAD news. Perfect. We have CAD news. So if the CAD flat completes itself by this afternoon, we're selling it. We have US news at 5 p.m. my time. That's okay. Powell speaking. I don't think I would be here 5 p.m. And 6 p.m. we have Pung news. So I probably wouldn't be for those two. But I'll give you guys a setup before I leave in the New York session. So let's see how high this goes. I think it's worth taking just to see how high it goes. And then from there, we can manage it, right? So put it as a buy, an active buy. Yen. Well, if you remember this pattern here yesterday, you should go and take a look at it, and you should go back and watch the webinar and hear what I said you would look for. And if I see this, I'll put an entry here immediately. Once it comes here and go back up there and come back here, I'll put the entry here, because this would be a confirmed flat. Well, it didn't make a confirmed flat. It just pulled back to the top and start dropping. And it's making a flag here. We're getting a flag here. So the question is, do we want this sell to drop to the bottom here? Remember, you had this small flag here, but that was without the consolidation at the top. This one had no consolidation at the top. This one has consolidation at the top. There's a contracting flat here. And then it dropped. So if it makes another flat here, what are the chances it's going to come here, or it's just going to come to the bottom here and then go back up? What are the chances this here is more of a correction than an impulse to the downside? I think both of those are possible, that it could drop or that it could become a flat here for upside. If you ask me, I will go more with the flat. And the reason for that is because these are more corrective. These are sharper to the downside. This is more of a correction. This is more of a sharp move. This is not so much a correction. This has a small flag in here, but this is really sharp compared to this. Right? This is looking more like a correction that this could happen here for upside. So what we're going to do is we're going to ignore this and let it drop if it has to drop. But once it dropped through the bottom and make a flag here, we'll go with the sell. Because the sell would be for the bigger picture, right? If we're selling that to break through this low and totally drop. That means this is all the correction. If that is not all the correction, then what we are assuming is that this is a small one here. We have that already, that this is a small one. This is a 1, 2, 3. This is making a 1, 2, 3, come here and then go back up. Or stops here and go back up all the way to this top, and we'll probably even put this as an expanding flat. Right? That possibility exists. You can look at that as an expanding flat, and this one takes off. So this was a sell. I'll take that off. We'll put an entry above this top here and leave it. It will never tag you unless this is a correction, right? So unless this has fine in order to break through there, you wouldn't be tagged in that trade. It's hardly going to come tag you here and come back here. That's kind of rare with these type of patterns. So the only thing is if this takes off, you get the trade. If it's going to drop here, it's not going to tag you, and then we'll come back to it. I'm going to take this off. We don't really need this. I'll take this one off, too. We don't need that. So the question is whether it's going to come here and then go back up or whether it's going to go from here. Because if it breaks out and make a sell, we'll go. It's a nice flag. The range is how much? Let's see how much you'll have to go with. Let me go back to the 15. It's actually a nice flat forming here for the sell. If it's a big range, we can consider it. I don't think the range to the downside is not that big compared to your stop. Your stop has to be here by all means, right? There is no trading in here right now. Let's wait and see. I don't like the sell. I don't like the buy. The sell is a good one, but I don't like it because the stop is going to be there and all they need to do is tag this low. And if they just break this low and go back up, you will not get an exit. So we'll leave this alone. We'll wait for a better setup and then we'll go with it. Euros. You can look for a sell setup if it makes a flag. Right now, it's kind of coming down slowly. So if it's going to go back up, once it gets to the bottom here, we'll buy it. Right? If it makes a correction to go back up, we'll buy it. I think it can go more up because this one is not, this is the top. This one is a pullback into that top. So this could probably come down some more and then we'll buy. You can keep the sell here because if you're going to sell it, you would need more of, this is a small channel down, right? You'll need a bigger correction here if you're going to sell it. You'll need a bigger correction to prove downside. But if it keeps coming down in that channel, then the likelihood is it's going to go break the top again. Let it come lower so it gives you a better buy opportunity. This would be more of a buy or both ways. We put it for both ways because both ways possible. Euro New Zealand. Okay, so we've got this one. This drop really sharp, go back up to the top, and now you're getting this. So we're making a bigger flat here. This is easy, right? So this needs to go back up there, come back down here, give us this flat, and then probably repeat this to complete this. Now, the bigger move is to the upside, right? We want it to totally take off. What if this is a slow start of the impulse? This gives you a flat. Come back here with a running flat and then take off. I think it's worth, we can actually go with this trade here. This trade is worth taking. Let's see where we can enter it. Go to the 5 minutes. I want to see where the last impulse is. Well, there actually isn't any last impulse. It's more of a running flat forming here right now. It came down like this. That's a running flat. This should probably come back here. You could make an argument for this one. It's very corrective. Let it drop here, and if it drop here, we'll put an entry here for the buy. You want to get it so that by the time you break that top, you can put it to positive. Right? You can put it to break even at least and see how high it goes. Or even take some profit. So we're just consolidating in this range. It's just one big consolidation at the moment. We'd like to see it come back to the top. Right? The idea is to see it go back to the top. Let's see if that's going to happen. Let's wait. We'd look for a buy setup. We'd look for a buy setup. EuroCAD, the sell was good. I think you saw enough reason to get a hell out of the sell. If you didn't, you can get a hell out of the sell right now because this is upside. Right? That is upside. It's not ready to go, but as of now, it's upside. So if you took this sell, you would take it from here, drop there, come down. You probably close it right in here. You probably wouldn't even wait on that. Close it. It went up. You're making a flat here. You want one more up, one more down. And that's the perfect flat for upside. So the same thing yesterday. Remember I said this one is going to go one up. This is going to go one up and then come down because it's in this one and it's a correction. The same thing here. We're in this one here and we're correcting it. So we've got this, we've got that, and you got a small flag here. This is too small for this one. But hey, you can make an argument for that. Don't put your entry order here. Keep it above this one. And let's see if this takes off. If this just go to that point and then come back here, we'll go with this running flat. That would be a better running flat. We'll come down here, and then you can look for this trade from here. If you get that big running flat, you can take the trade from here going. Right? So I'll leave this buy here for now, put it as an active buy. Where will this take us? If we take the buy, where will it take us? Well, in that case, we're still in this, and then it's one more up, right? We're still in this one. And I'll change it to this. We'll change it, not now. All right, we'll change it to that one and go. What if this comes all the way to the bottom and then go back up? Take that out and sell this here coming down. Right? That would be the equivalent of this. See that running flat there, right? So we will sell this for one more drop. That's the equivalent of this one here, right? We'll sell it for that one more and then go. That's a trade you're looking for. There are two big moves you're looking for here. One is this one, and the next one is this one. So like I explained yesterday, if we take this to be the equivalent of this as a running flat, then this one will totally come down. But we will take the trade and we'll see where it goes. So right now it's a buy setup for a flat. If it goes lower, we'll take it off. As of now, I still think it's okay, but it's coming down really strong. It's actually coming to almost take this low. So if it comes here, pull that. Right, pull that because it's going to go back up one more, complete this flat, and then drop. I don't think this has anything to do with that. And I don't think this has anything to do with it either. If for whatever reason we miss this as a running flat, I don't think it is, but if we miss that as a running, it has to break the low and make a flag here to confirm that we missed that running flat for the downside. Don't sell into this. So let's wait. As of now, I'll keep it, but let me put a line. If it breaks through this, right? If it breaks through that, take off the buy. We'll look for a sell setup because it's going to come to the bottom. It might even break the low, go back up, and then we'll look for the trade. So the up move would have to be the equivalent of this. Should it break through, we'll wait for it to go back up, and then we'll sell it. Right? So we'll see that. Euro going down a bit. We'll come to the euro just now. Let's see. EuroCAD, we're in EuroCAD, right? So we'll come back to, let's see the euro. Okay, keep this sell here. Don't put it there because this one, I want to exclude this possibility. I want to exclude the possibility of this being a running flat here because if it is a running flat, then you'll get tagged here and it will go right back up. See, that could be that catch that you don't want. Let it prove that. Or if it makes a flag here, we sell. If it stop and consolidate in the 5 minutes, we'll sell it. Right? So if it stop here and make a 5 minutes flag, we'll go with the trade from a higher point. But I would hate that it tag you there and then go right back to the top there, which will not be a good thing. Although you can keep a stop here, but still not a great thing to be stuck in it for so long. So let's wait and see what happens. Let's go back. We're in EuroCAD. So EuroCAD for now is a buy. Let's see. Euro Swiss sell setup. The sell setups are going good. Any one of those you take. There are many sell setups you could have taken there. I mean, numerous. And it's still going down. So we can change this to lower. Where are we coming back to? It's coming back pretty strong. So any sell setup we get, we'll take. Wait for a pullback and sell. Go back to the 15. So this is a correction of its own. You could have sold that one. I don't think that this is a sharp one. So probably this belongs. We will either put this with this. One of the option is looking at that as a flat. I think that makes sense, which means this is a standalone correction here. See that? That's a sell setup. But in the case that this belongs to something here in the future, you'll have to keep a stop here if you sell. So you can sell it right now. It's going really slow. You notice that, right? So you have to have a lot of patience if you're selling this. Don't expect it to drop really fast. If you put an entry there to sell, right, it might tag you very soon. But then you will have to assume that it could make that pullback, right? There's a running flat because this is inside. This is inside. Every time it's inside and it drop here, it could end up going back there, give you this, and then drop again. So if that happens, try to get out for break even and then look for the downside once it pull back. You have this pullback here too. So what if these two are one? What if those two make sense? Then this would just continue to drop. So take the trade. It's moving slow. It will give you a lot of opportunity. Trade, keep it on the 15. Don't put it on the 1 hour. It'll give you a lot of chance to exit if it doesn't go. So we can put this as an active sell. We'll manage that. Euro pound. Okay, it's breaking out of the structure. And now you want to pull back to sell it. 1 second, guys. Give me 1 second, please. Okay, sorry about that. Yeah. So you will need a pullback here to sell or a correction. Now that we're breaking out of the structure, It's a pullback or a correction to sell. To buy it, all you need is an impulse, a flag, and then we start buying for an up move. I'm looking at this as a correction downwards for a move upwards. So let's see if we can get it. Euro yen, let's see what we have here. It's coming back, not this one. Remember, this one is a correction. So you would look for this. I think we might be able to look at a bigger correction forming here. Just a bigger correction coming back to this low to tag the low here. And then we will decide which parts we are putting with which, right? We'll have to decide whether we're going to use this as an equivalent of this. In that case, you're going to have a 1, 2, 3, and this is the final one down. Once it breaks this low, look for a buy setup. If you sold it from the top coming, which might have been a difficult thing to do, I don't see any sell setup there. Definitely doesn't have any sell setup. And this doesn't look like the impulsive move to the downside either. So we're still stuck in some kind of a correction here. See that? This is pretty corrective, even in comparison to this one up. So if this comes here and go back up, we might still come back down here. Right? We might still have a lot more sideways here. Just leave it alone if you don't have any perfect setup. The ranges are huge, right? So if you get a perfect setup like this or a perfect setup like this, go for it. Right now, we're in the consolidation in the middle of it, right? We have two sharp impulses. We have this one, and we have that one. The rest of them, you can use this as a third impulse because you're still inside of that. Are still inside. So all of this is consolidation in here. This could go back up there, come back here, go back there, come back here, and then go for this one. So we can be up and down. If you get a buy setup here, would be a better idea. If you can get a buy setup on this, let me take this out. And I'll take this off. If you can get a buy setup on this one here, it's a better trade to the upside. Right? If this is the go, it's probably going to go like this. So it will probably get there and then come back for this one. Complete this pattern. Go back up there, come back here, and then go back there, complete this one. After which we come down for this, and then go up. So we're just going to be stuck in this range here for a while, filling order. So you can look for a short-term buy. I think from this top to there is about 70 pips with about a 50 pip stop if you get a flag. If you get a flag, use this is not the low, right? This one is the low. So it needs to drop one more. Let this one go here and drop one more there. Break this low and then look for a flag here to upside. That would be a better trade. So it's more of a buy setup, short term. Pankad. Oh, you've got a nice sell setup here finally, right? It break the top. If you wanted to buy, you would have to buy here. It didn't make a new high. This one is dropping. You can get a sell to come back to this point, break this low. It's very close to the top, right? That means that if it drop, it's probably just going to do this and then go back up again. Make a flat here. Right now, can we go back up more? Is there more upside on this? Well, there is a lot more upside on it, depending on how you look at the pattern, right? Depending on how we look at this. If we look at this as a running flat, which looks very much like a running flat because these two are very sharp. What I don't like is this piece. There is no huge correction in it, right? There's no big correction. It moves really sharp. And that means that we can look in the future to find two different running flats. See this one here, it has this big correction in the middle of these two. We don't have that here. So this could come more in the future. This could be two sharp moves, which means this one also is relative, but this one has more. Should this drop here, we'll go with this flat first. Go back up and then pull back again for a bigger one like this. I think that possibility exists, right? Now, if we're wrong, this is just going to continue to go really slow. So with the assumption that it can drop one more down like this, that sell is a good idea, but you will treat it as a flat for now, right? You treat this sell as just a flat coming back to here to go back up. So you'll have to get it to break even really fast. So we come here, take the sell. That's the last impulse. Take the sell to break this low, put it to positive, and see if we break through the whole structure. And by break through, you want to reverse this. That's the last impulse up, right? So should this drop beyond that point, it will probably consolidate here and drop again. If it stops short of that, like breaking this low, stop short here and then going back up, you'll have a flat here, and you look for a buy setup here. Now, if that makes sense to you, congratulations, you know something about wave analysis. If you didn't get one single thing of what I just said, or that looks very confusing, it means there's a lot more for you to learn about wave analysis. So go for the sell. I don't think you're going to get any sell in here. If it breaks the top, you might want to reconsider. It's a running flat, so you definitely don't want to sell, but you would take the buy. So we'll go for the sell for now, and then we'll manage that trade when we come back. Peng Yen. Okay, we don't have anything here. You've got a running flat here. You've got a flat here, sorry. A 1, 2, 3. And either we look at this as a contracting flat, or we get a running flat sometime in the future, which means this drop again, go back up there, make a running flat, come back here, and then go up. That's a really, really long drawn out pattern. Can this totally take off? So this sell was good, but we never broke the low, right? We're still within this. And within this structure, let's see what we have. We have a sharp move down. We got to move up. We got another sharp move down. We got to move up. We're getting a correction here. This is definitely a correction. If this goes out of this, you're probably going to come back here again. You'll have to go up. You'll have to come back. You'll have to go up one more and then come back like this. I think this is the second yen pair we're noticing with this huge correction in the middle before you go back up. So most likely, if we're right about this, because I wouldn't put this as a running flat as yet. This one is really sharp. This is the first place we're getting a serious correction. So if you put this as a contracting flat in the middle, this thing is going to break out. Anybody in the buy already? It might have been worth taking this buy to see where it goes. That buy here. If you're in, you'll get it to positive. If you're not in, wait for another flag. Let's see if it makes another flag here, then we buy it to break the top. It will pull back. Right? So you definitely want to get another flag because it will pull back. It's going to break the top and come right back. Pagos. Okay, this is easy. I think this is an easy one. This is going to come down some more. Let's take a this. This is the lowest point. So we will take this as the low, right? Take all of this as a big correction. Take all of that as one huge correction. You can put it with this. We'll go with 1, 2, or you can put it with this one as 1, 2, 3 for this. This is the lowest point. 1, 2, 3. If you don't want, you can make it bigger with this. It wouldn't make a difference. I think you can put this as a 1, 2, 3, because you will get a 1, 2, 3 in the middle there. Anywhere you put it, it wouldn't make a difference. Can we assume that all of this is still one bigger one? That's possible, but right now you have a buy setup. Let's see if it's ready to go. Put an entry above the top. You have to use a stop here. That's a pretty big stop, but that's the only option you have unless you can get a flag somewhere in here to go. So in the shorter term, this looks like it's going to go down one more. If it comes a little higher and you want to sell this in that range, might be worth it, right? Depends. What's the range? That's only 30 pips, not worth it. You're not going to get a good trade. You don't know how low this is going to go, right? We don't know how low or how deep in the correction this one is going to go, right? This one didn't go very far. So this was your first correction. That didn't go very far. You got an impulse, you got a correction, you got an impulse, you're getting another correction. You actually want this one to go up more here. And then you get another drop. And then we look for this buy. If you can get it here, that would be perfect. So let's see what it does. The best thing is to look for the buy setup. Pang New Zealand. It's going up one more. You can be in that trade already if you took it from somewhere here. This was the last move down. That move there was the last one. If you took it there, it's okay. If not, wait for a flag, see if you can get it. If you want to put an entry order here, also not a bad idea. Because if it goes like this, that would be great. Right? If it goes like that. So you can make that, choice, put an entry order here and manage it very carefully. Because by the time it breaks the top, it can reverse. Right? It can just break the top and reverse. Are we still going back to make a new high? It's possible we might be coming to make a new high here. And then we'll have to decide how to look at this whole structure. It's a lot of correction inside. And the next question is now, well, can this actually drop through the bottom? Can this here drop through the bottom? That is easy. Put an entry order for a sell here. See if it drops through the bottom. Because right now it's going up, so you have an advantage here. If you take this as a flat, if you take this here as a flat, put an entry order here. If they reverse all of that, they probably will go much deeper. This would be a slow move down, but it could go much deeper. If it breaks through this top, then assume that it's breaking that one. The up move is really short. The up move is a higher risk because the up move just needs to break this top, right? This just needs to go there, break that up, and it can come right back down. It doesn't mean it can't go more, but the minimum requirement would be breaking the top on the upside, right? It can go a lot more. The downside, once you break this downside, there's a higher probability they come and retest this low. See, that's how you're going to look at this. So let's go to the 1 hour and see what we look like. And the bigger picture is downside, right? The bigger picture of this, if you're coming this way, the bigger picture is this dropping here. What if this was all the correction and this was just a pullback, like this pullback here, right? This is just a pullback and they decide to drop here. We would go with this is all the correction, right? That would be the correction. This would be the first move down. That would be this. This would be the next move down. So the sell is a better trade than the buy should the sell trigger. So you can put both of them. If the buy trigger, you manage it really carefully. The sell trigger, just get it to break even and let it go. Right? Let's see which one triggers and how you're going to manage them, right? Which means the stop for the buy has to be here and the stop for the sell has to be right there. Because either way, one of those two trades are going to work, right? Pound Swiss, same thing. You've got a huge thing here. There's a sell setup here forming, but not a good idea because you're inside here. This is just going to come here. This one is telling it's going to come here and go back up. This is a flat forming here, right? Just like this. So when it comes here, look for a buy setup back to the top. We already know that's going to happen because of this depth of that pullback there, right? See the depth of the pullback told you that there's one more up. So you got an impulse, you got a correction, you got an impulse, you're getting a correction, you get another impulse. You can try to buy this and then definitely sell that. So let's see. I don't think this sell is a good idea because you will not get a risk to reward on it. There's no, I mean, there's a rare chance of this dropping through the bottom. And by that time, you'll get a flag somewhere here. So we'll see which way that goes. Let it come here. And then we'll see if we can get a buy to go back up for this move. We'll see if we can get a buy to go for that one. Aussie Swiss. Okay, sell setup. Go with it. It's coming down a lot more. We might retest the low. Remember, Aussie is the only one that didn't break the all-time low. So if we get sell setup, we'll go with it. Right now, it's a short-term buy. This is a very small buy setup, and the bigger picture is more of a sell. But you do have a short-term buy there in the 15 minutes. Should we take the risk in the buy? Let's see. We're actually breaking out of this, and you're getting a short-term buy. Let's take a good look at this. There is a buy setup there. There's a small flag here too. It didn't really come back all the way to the bottom. So we can take this trade and see how far that takes us. Put an entry here. And let's see how that takes us. If it comes lower here, then let it go back up and we sell. But if it goes from here, you want the trade because it can go back deep into the top. So we'll put this as an active buy for now. And we'll manage that trade to see how it goes. Aussie yen. Another yen pair that is not going the way we expect it to go. They're still in consolidation. This consolidation is deeper than expected. This one actually went back to the top. So you're looking at this right now. You're looking at a flat like that. And take this out. You're getting another flat here. It's making another flat here, which is this one. And once that is finished, it will have to come back here, go back there, come back here, and then go. So there's a number of yen pairs that are having these huge consolidations. Some of them are getting it this way, some are getting it this way. I like the ones that go this way for the upside. that becomes an easier trade, right? So you will have to consider if you want this sell. I don't think it's a great idea. I don't think this is going to go back to the top either, because it's mostly you're looking at this flat. What you can do is let this come here and then see if you get a sell set up to go down for this move. See if you get a sell set up to go down for that move before it comes back. Right? This sell here might be a better trade if you get a flag. Right? If you get a flag like that. Remember that sell we took, that sell would be a better trade. We took that sell to come back to this low, making this running flat, but instead it actually come here and went back. So you would have got rid of that trade somewhere here. Let's see, we get rid of this trade when it breaks the low. We'll get rid of it here and then look for the buy. So Aussie yen, you leave it for now. We look for a sell setup when we come back. Aussie CAD. Aussie CAD is pulling back a lot. We're coming back. Do we have any deep pullback to do? I think the deep pullback we had was this one. If you put this as a running flat, then you could put this here as a running flat, which would be this one. As a running flat with this. So if we get buy setups, we go with it because they can be going up now. You don't have anything right now. Let it consolidate here some more. If we get more consolidation here, we'll go with the buy. So just wait for a buy setup. A sell will take a long time because this is sharp. It will have to make a flat here for the sell. New Zealand Swiss. This one broke the low, so any buy setup we get, we're taking, including this buy, and we broke the top, right? So let this be a bigger correction for buy setups. Look for buy setups. It's not ready for the buy. It's definitely not ready for the buy. This actually looks like a sell setup forming here, right? I'm not interested in selling the New Zealand Swiss. We're only interested in buy setup. So let's see if we can get a flat here or a flag here for the buy again. Right? You're only looking for buys. This broke the low already. There's a reason like this. If you get a flag like that, somebody buy it. 1 second, my voice is going. Okay, good. Thank God it's Friday. And we only have one more sessions. So if it makes a flag here, we buy. Again, let me go back to this for those of you who are following us in these. This one broke the all-time low, which is here. Right? This pattern is a pattern we followed for a very long time, and we wanted it to break that low and turn. We got our first buy here. We got our second buy there. I mean, there are more buys in it, but those are the big buys that actually happen. You want another buy setup here. So you want a similar thing here. You want a small flag here, like a small flag was there and a small flag was here. You want a small flag here, and then you go for that trade. Let's go back to the 1 hour now. And you can see those small flags. You can see this one. You can see this one. This one we took on the breakout of this, actually. That was the last impulse. But you could have closed and re-enter, right? You could have closed it and re-enter here if you want, but we took the last impulse on the 15 minutes. Right? So that was a 15 minutes trade on the last impulse. Oh, come on. It's going to be a far pullback. Don't worry. I think you get the point, right? So the same thing we're going to look for here. See this? This was the flag. The previous one was the go up, go up, go up. Yeah, this one was the last impulse was here. The last impulse for that. But we could have closed this trade and re-enter here. I think that might have been something. I'm on the 15 minutes. So right now we're going to wait for the same thing here. Let it make a flat. Right now we don't have anything. All you have is one pullback. If this is the lowest point, and it could be among these, if that is the lowest point, then I want this. There is a possibility for a running flat here. Put an entry about 5 pips above the top. If that's a running flat, it will go. So we'll put an entry about 5 pips above this. And if this here is a running flat, that's going to take off. If it starts to consolidate here, take this off because it's going to do this, come back here and give you a flat. So it has to go. That's a trade. It consolidate, take it off. I think you get a point, right? So we'll put this as an active buy for now with that intention. They move to the upside, they're huge if they go. New Zealand yen. Another yen pair with another sideways move. And another one that is not ready to go as yet. So this buy here would have been good. That is within this structure. To buy this to retest the top. And that worked well if you did it. This is over. I think we can go with that pattern. This is the top. This is going sideways. That is more upside. So basically, you're looking at it this way. We made an impulse here with a correction in the middle here, right? We've got a huge running flat. We made an impulse. We're making a correction here. So this would probably go there. This could actually break out of the structure if you look at this as the flat. If we look at this as the entire flat, this could actually take off. Right? If we look at this as the flat, and there's a correction in here, so that is possible, then this one is going to take off. So we can put an entry order here. Let's put an entry order here. But keep track. I'm going to just pull this line across here. Keep track of it. Once you break this stop and it's coming here, right? When it gets to this point here, you have to get that to break even. If it breaks through this, good, stay with the trade. Right? If it breaks through that, stay with the trade. So what you're expecting here when it comes is that we don't know whether this is all the correction, right? If that is all the correction, this is going to go. If it's making a more complex correction, then you're going to get this as a 1, 2, 3. Come back here, go back there, come back here, and then go. Right? This would become a bigger correction. Now, today is Friday. If they want to take off, they can take off. So we can take this trade. Right now, it looks like they're going to go one more down. It looks like this is trying to go one more down. And if that happens, you bring this here, or you try to find a trade from the bottom here going up. Take a flag in here. These ranges are very huge. So you can go into 5 minutes and trade it. From the top here to the bottom here is already 50 pips. So you can find a flag in that 50 pips to go. Right? Go into 5 minutes and find a flag. So let's see. Next one. New Zealand CAD. I know today is the only day I'm doing all of them. It's pretty long, but some patience will help you. This sell was great, but it didn't go very far. So we thought this would totally drop. It didn't drop, but it's a good thing. Now you're getting this flat. You're in this one, and you're in this one. See that? There's a flat forming here. I'll take out the bottom one. The bottom one is irrelevant. There's a huge flat forming here. That huge flat means we're going to go one more up. That means this is going to go one more up. So take this out. I don't think it's ready to go because you've got this sharp move down and that sharp move up. This is relatively sharp, but this is the correction. See that? So this correction goes here, drop like this with a 1, 2, 3, go back up there, come back here, and then go. You're going to get something that might look like this. So when it comes to the top here again, look for a sell setup. Right, wait for it to go up some more and then look for a sell setup. So we look for a short-term sell setup. It's a short-term trade. You're trading within the correction. Okay, let's see if this one is ready for the upside. Not as yet. Give it some time. Let's see if we get a buy setup. We're looking for this move up because I don't think it's finished. So we'll see if we get it. CAD yen. Another yen pair that is going sideways. So this sideways looks downside. This is the only sideways that looks downside. Let me take out all of this. So this is the only one with a sideways right now coming into this one here. That's actually looking downside. See this? This is the impulse into it. And if you take this as the running flat, then you have 1, 2, 3. You got this and you're making this consolidation, which eventually has to come this way. And it's the only yen pair with that pattern in mind. Let's see. Let's wait and see. I'm not sure what this is doing. This needs to go up some more. Like all the yen pairs, this one needs to go up some more here. And if that is right, then we'll come back here. We'll go back up there, come back here, go back up there, and then drop. If I'm wrong about that, this one will just drop through the bottom, right? So what you can do is decide if you want to buy this to retest this top. If you want to buy this to retest the top, the first thing you want it to do is you want it to come back down. You want this here to drop here again. And then look for a flag in this to go up for this. Look for a small flag like this to go up for this move. And if this takes off higher to above the top, look for a sell setup. So this one you have to trade in the 5 minutes, which means you have to have a serious skill level to manage those trades. Right? So look, you see these small flags? That's what you'd be looking for in here. Right? Go to the 5 minutes, look for those small flags, take the trade. Cat Swiss. Okay, you've got a sell set up here. It's forming. It's still early. It has to consolidate some more, and then we're looking for a sell. Like all Swiss pairs, this is going down. All the Swiss pairs are going down some more, so we'll see how far they go. Swiss yen. So this is the correction, right? I think we can agree now that is the correction, and this is the up move that is the equivalent of this. We were looking for a move that is equivalent to this, to the upside. And this one is going good so far. So we'll have to decide which part we're going to put as the correction. You have this. You could go with this first as the first running flat. This is correcting, so this could be a correction of its own. This needs to come back here and then upside. Like all the yen pairs has had an upside, so this one is more easy except for the CAD yen. Wait for it to come down some more and then go for the buy. Keep track of this. If it starts breaking through this low, then it could change pattern, right? But as of now, keep that line in mind. You want it to come here and then go right back up. Once it gets to this top, start looking for your sell setup. This was the buy to break the top. We did break the top, but we didn't drop. Normally, when you break that top, we look for a downside. And I mean by downside, I mean it dropping to the bottom. But it's not dropping. It's making another consolidation. See, this is another consolidation. So what it's telling me is that there's possibly one more up, very similar to this one here, very similar to this. Go up there. So this would probably come here, come back here, go back up there. And then we'd look for the sell setup from here going down. See, it's just consolidating more. The more it consolidates there, the more it could become a bigger flat for upside. So right now we haven't got this. This kind of a 1, 2, 3, but there's a lot of consolidation in here. So there's a buy setup here forming. You have a buy setup forming here, but it might just do this and come back here, matching this one. That could be a trade you could take and see, well, if it does this good for you, there's a chance it can do that. That would be good for you, but most likely it's just going to go to the top and come back. If you can manage that trade, it's worth going for it. So for my traders, if you can trade this, go for that, go in the 5 minutes. Look for this one and go for that trade with the intentions of it going much more up. Right? First, you're going to watch to see whether they're doing 1, 2, 3, because we don't have anything to match that one up, right? So it's like a 1, 2, 3, and then come back down. Keep your eyes on that. I like the trade to the upside. Natural gas. Okay, this didn't go up. Let's go. We were expecting the downside, but first it should go up one more. Didn't do that. It dropped, so take that off. You're not in the trade. And now that it dropped, now you have a bigger problem because now you still want this up before you do anything, right? Before you sell this here, you want it to go back up there and then drop. You want to see that running flat there. This sell, if you get a sell set up here, it's just going to do one more and then go back up. So this sell here is even worse than the previous one if you follow it, right? You need a sharp move up here. You will need this to go back up there, give you this flat. And then if you get a sell from here, you can take it to go break the low. But once it breaks the low, get that to positive. This up move is very likely. So the sell here, you need this impulse before you go for the sell. You need that one there, right? And if you get that, then we'll decide what to do next. This one is strange. We don't have anything for this. We have this flat here. This flat makes sense. This pullback here didn't break out. We were expecting that to break out, or we were expecting this to go here and then come back, or even break the top, break this top and then come back. So you would have gone with 1, 2, 3. So we're still in this, right? In other words, we're still in this. However we look at that, we'll come back to that, but we're still in this one. You can go with a contracting flat. It doesn't matter, but it's not a running flat because this is sharp. So you want this to make a flat here. You want it to drop one more and then go back up for this. So if you're going to sell this, you have to sell it with a lot of caution, especially in a Friday afternoon. Let's go. US oil. US oil was a sell setup. Let me see what we have here. I'll take this off. We don't have anything. Didn't break too. We were expecting that to go up. It did come up, but it didn't break out after that. Actually, it went up a lot to the upside. So that means we can look at this as a possible running flat with this, maybe. Can we put this as a possible running flat? Let me take this out. Or channeling with this. 1, 2, 3. Remember, this didn't break the top. We went for a contracting flat. Can we put that as a running flat for downside? No, I don't like it. It's not structured as a running flat. We leave the contracting flat for now. We leave the contracting flat, and this one is just going to be an up move with a deep flag here. It is a deep flag because you were expecting 1, 2, 3. It go there. You're making a flat here. So this is kind of flat. There's a smaller version of a flat in here if that happens. If we break the top, but there's a chance it's making a running flat. Come back here, go back up one more. And then we'd look for the sell if we're getting any sell setup. What's the big picture? Oh, the big picture is actually upside. We broke the low. And we need to get a move up like that. So there is an upside structure forming. If we get a buy setup here, take it. Right? What you need for the buy setup, you need this to pull back. You need this one to pull back here. And if we get that flat, we'll go for a buy. If you don't get it flat, don't try to buy it. Wait for the flat, then buy. So take this off. The sell setup is definitely not there. We leave it open for now. US 30. Okay, that kind of dropped, but we don't have any sell setup. See, it dropped, but we don't have any sell setup in this. You can put it with an expanding flat here. I don't like that idea because this could always go back with this for a flat. And this is the top. So let's see what this does. If it makes a flag here, we can buy that. If it comes back to the bottom, we let it go back up and then sell. So there's no trade setup in it as yet. And the same would go for S&P 500. Yep, same thing. It dropped. We need a flag here to sell. And if we get a flag, we can sell. We can look for a sell setup. There is no sell, but look for a sell setup. NASDAQ, you can look for a sell setup. NASDAQ, actually, you can put a sell entry. Put an entry here for the sell. I'll treat this as a flag for now. This is a sharp move. This one actually did exactly what we wanted it to do because this one did give us this flag. It went to the top, it dropped. Treat this as a flag to drop. If it becomes a flat, it's good. But for now, you treat it as a flag and put a sell setup. If it dropped where it should go, well, let's go back to the top and see where we are. We're at the top of this structure. I don't think that's a running flat. So if it drops, it's just going to drop deeper to retest this low, maybe make a bigger correction. Right? Because that is a really sharp move up. Right? That move up is really, really sharp. There was this flat, contracting flat here. So let's see what it makes there. If it's making another flat, this one would have to go up all the way to the top here. Come back here, give you this flat, and then we'll buy it. So for now, we're assuming it's a sell. The assumption is that it's going to drop. We don't have any reason to believe that anyways, right? You don't have any reason to believe it's going to drop, but it could drop. Let's see what happens in here. I wouldn't buy this smaller term to go back up. I don't think we'll want to buy the smaller ones to go back up. We'll just wait. If it makes a really nice flag here for the upside, then you can consider it. So like if it stays here for a very long time, then you can consider that trade. Right? But for now, we just put an entry under the low and leave it. Put it as an active sell. Okay, what is this doing? Nothing much, just going sideways. So we're making another flat here, maybe. We don't have anything, leave it. You do have a sell setup, and you can move this entry order one more up to this point and stay with the sell. The more it keeps going up, the more we'll change that to the flat, but for now, it's still a sell. Right? For now, we're expecting it to come back one more here and then go back up. But if it works its way to the top, if this comes back here higher to this top, let it come here and then we look for the buy. For now, just assume it's going to drop here and then go back up. So that's a very short-term sell. We had a pullback here. You actually had a pullback. If you're putting it for the buy, that's okay. But the pullback is smaller than this. Right? We're looking for a pullback equivalent to this. You got a very small one. Let's hope it get a bigger one. Don't buy this small one. Let it prove a bigger pullback and then go for the trade. So we're looking for a buy setup still. Okay, this had a good pullback. This one is perfect. You can put an entry above the top for this trade. Okay, this pullback is okay. If it stays here too long, if it stays in this sideways here too long, assuming it's making a bigger flat here. But for now, that's a good running flat for upside. So we wanted the pullback and we got it. See, we want that pullback, we got a pullback. That means we should go for the buy. So this is an active buy. Nifty. Nifty is back at the top. Look for a sell setup. This is a lot of consolidation in here. So you need a move down back like that. Look for a sell setup. Tesla. Okay, Tesla is coming down. Do we need a new low or we need to go up? I think we need to go up. So we just wait. There's no sell setup there. There was a small sell there if you took it on the 15. Right, there was this small sell setup. I would probably go with a flat forming, but it seems it's dropping much more. Well, let's see. There's no trade set up at the moment here. You'll have to get another flag or another flat before you sell. HK50. Okay, it's already going up here, so let it pull back. Let this go up some more and then pull back here. And then we'll buy this going up. Right, let it complete this flat. See that flat there? And then we look for a buy setup from here, like this one or so. We look for a buy setup here going up. So we don't have any trade on that at the moment. Okay, I'll just do Bitcoin and then you can tell me what other cryptos you guys want me to do because we don't have to do all of them. I did everything. It's a very long webinar. So Bitcoin is kind of consolidating here right now, which means this is going to pull back, go back up there, pull back, and that will be buy setup. If you get all of this by this afternoon, that's a buy setup. We might eventually put these two. This one is very sharp. I don't think we'll do that. Well, let's wait some more and see how the pattern develops. It's mostly a buy setup. Ethereum. It's coming. We wanted this to go and tag this stop, right? So it's already there. Let it go a little more and then look for the sell setup. I don't think this is a buy. I think this is mostly a sell setup forming. A little more up, but then it's a sell. An XRP. It's in the middle of nowhere. This is still a huge consolidation. It is. You have this and you have this. So it's probably going to come here, maybe go back up there, maybe come here. And when we get this, we'll consider a buy. Right? Because you're coming into it this way. This is a running flat. You're coming into it this way after this correction. Right? So we've got an up move, you've got a correction, you've got an up move, you get a correction, you get another up move. So let it come back here. Let it break this low, then look for the buy. Don't do anything yet. Let it drop a little more, then you look for the buy. This, you want the last one? Wait for a pullback, then buy it. It's upside actually. If you had an entry order here for the buy, for the bigger time frame buy, that's good because there was a buy set up there in this flat. It's going up, but now if I'm going to trade it, I will wait for a pullback. I'll wait for this pullback. See, this flat was perfect. If you bought this flat, you did well. Now you want this. So you want this to pull back here, and then you'll get this flat for the buy. You bought already, good. Then just stay with it. Just move your stop and stay with it. Move your stop so that should you get a pullback like this, it wouldn't take you out. And then go with it. Well done. Good job. Because this was a good flat here. Go with the buy. This broke the low, so we were expecting more upside, a lot more upside on the bigger picture. Right? You broke the bigger low there. So the idea was for this to come and break this low. See, broke that low and then start the upside. And it's actually starting that. That upside could go a lot. If you're looking at it, right? When we made the forecast, we made that forecast to come and break this low and then take off to the upside because we were looking at this structure. See, we're looking at this structure. That's the impulse. All of this is correction coming down. This is your accumulation phase. And I think the accumulation is finished. Yep, this is the all-time low. The accumulation is finished. That could be a really big move to the upside. It's going to go slow. You notice this move wasn't that fast as you would look, right? You see how much pullback this had? Think of this pullback. That's a whole week of pullback. This is 1 week going down and up. So this is like, if you put it in a 1 hour, that's a deep correction. Coming back almost to the low. So there is going to be pullback in this, which you can exit and enter. You can always go. This thing hasn't even started moving as yet. After this one, this was the first little pullback there, and now it's going. So at some point, it's going to make more pullbacks. But if you're long term, you don't have to worry very much about it. I like it. In terms of a long-term trade, I like it. If it makes a pullback here, no, that would be a good trade for you. Right? You need this pullback here and then do trade. You're already in. Ava, somebody wants Ava. Let's take a look at that. What's the bigger picture? This is a buy from since here going up. It's still more buy. Wait for a flag buy again. Wait for it to make a flag here and buy. It's still more upside. That has not changed. Yeah, this could go a lot more up, especially if you break through this. Look at this as a channel. So as you come to the top of that channel, if it breaks through, stay with it. If it doesn't break through, just move your stop and wait to see if it's going to go one more down. It can come and break this low, which means at this point, this thing can go back there and this would be all the correction, and that's okay. Right? Or it can come to the top here and keep working its way down until it break here and then go back up. But I think from this point, it can go. So if you're in a trade there already, you don't have to worry about it. You don't have to worry about that, right? Just let it go, see how far it goes. If it makes another flag here, you go with that flag. That's easy. So, okay, let's take the questions now. How much is the full membership fee? Does that include a course? Yes. So what do you get when you pay the full membership fee is you immediately get access to the group. When you get access to the group, you get access to go look at all the recordings we have in the previous 3 live courses or 4 live courses we had. All of those are different. Now, the interesting thing you're going to learn when you join my group, that each one of the course is a little different from the previous one. What that means is that I add all the new information that I got from traders, like what they're struggling with, and I put that into the new courses, right? None of these courses are done with any PowerPoint. You don't learn from PowerPoint. So you will watch all of those, and then when we do the new one, I'm going to go through the points where traders are struggling with. You will get to ask questions. It's going to be more like a Q&A session. And I deal with all the parts where traders are struggling with. We're going to go through most of the stuff you learned already. And then you will get some practice session, right? You will get to share your charts and show me how you understand what you learned already. And based on that, I will correct what you're doing. And then you have access to, while you're doing all of this, you have access to all the live trading rooms we're in. So every time somebody's in a trading room, you can join them if you're available. Every time I do anything, you are here to join me if you're available. If not, some of those, I think the one daily session is recorded in our group, so you get to watch it if you miss it. Send me to get the information about that. Send me a Skype message. My Skype ID is in the description in all my videos. US 30, we did that. Guys, please hit like and share. Yes, thank you for that. If you hit the like and you share the videos and you leave a comment, it will help a trader who hasn't seen the video before to see it, and then he might definitely be able to make a decision whether he wants to learn this or not. 1 second, guys. This is an important call. Let me take it. Sorry about that. Okay, sorry about that. So let's go. Any other questions? Anything else you guys want to look at before I go? Let's go back and see what's happening to the euro. Go back to the 15 minutes. Good. So here's the thing. You remember what I said, be careful with this. The reason we didn't sell it. Go through this. This is important. The reason I didn't sell it here, we'll normally do that, is because there's a chance that this could become a running flat. And this could go back to the top. See? The magic works, right? Now, what would confirm that is that what you want is that if this actually settles here, if this actually consolidates in this range here now, we can sell this to go down. But there's a rare chance it's going to consolidate that. Now, should it go back and tag the top, we would immediately change this trend line to something like this, and this entry order will go here, right? Now, I don't know that it's going to do either of those, so we'll wait and see. If it's already pulling back, so it's either a consolidation here for the seller, go break the top for the seller. It's confirming a sell setup right now. See how easy that is? And you would say, well, why the hell didn't you sell it there? Well, you can see why. I told you why before, and now you can see it's happening. And it's not magic, right? It's just experience. Knowing what the chart can probably do and see it happen way before it happens. Now, a lot of people are going to tell you all this stuff is random. You can never guess what it's going to do. Well, I just guessed what it's going to do here. Now, is it a guess or is it knowledge? Your call. I just showed you what exactly I think it can do. And it's doing exactly that. That's the power of knowledge. Knowing what to look for. Running flat on the 5 minutes time frame. With this one, if you're thinking about this as a running flat, if you're, I don't, that's the only running flat I can see. This one here is not, this is a small flag of it. So this is the first drop. I need to confirm. I don't know. Here's the thing. You can put this one like this, or you can put this one like this. If this is like this, I want to see a small flag here. We're going to sell this flag to the downside, right? If this is the running flat, then it needs to go back to the top there, and we'll sell from here for the drop. See? Which is it? You don't have to know which is it. You have to know the possibilities of that happening, right? You're not, here's the thing about these forecasts. You're not guessing what is going to happen, right? I think I started this week with telling you guys, the most important thing is not guessing the outcome. It's not knowing what the outcome is going to be, because that is unknown. No one ever knows what the outcome is going to be in any given thing at any given time, right? But you know the processes to get the outcome you want, right? So if you want to get from X to Z, you know what are the processes you need to go through to get from X to Z. You can walk, you can run, you can take a car, you can ride a bicycle. You know what the process is. But here's the thing. You don't know whether you'll get to the end of that adventure when you take a bicycle or you walk or you take a car or whether you're running. You can get hit on the way. You can get a heart attack on the way, right? You don't know the outcome, but you know the process of how to get from one place to the other. That is life. Life is about a process. We know the processes we want to go through. We just don't know what the outcome is going to be. We know what outcome we want. We just don't know what the results would be. Now, most times we get the results we want because we follow the process very well. And that's great. That's the whole thing about it. You follow the process, you get the results, you're happy. You know what process you need to follow to get that results. But never ever assume that you will get the results you want 100% of the time. It doesn't work like that. Not in your life, not in anything you're doing, and it's not going to work like that in your trading. Now, if you get the results 80% of the time, amazing. If you follow the process, you're going to take care of yourself. When you get sick, you know what to do, right? There's a process when you get sick, what to do if you want to get better. And if you follow that process and you get to the doctor in time and the doctor do his stuff and you take your medicines and whatever, you get better. Try not following that process. See what happens. So trading is about following the processes, knowing, setting up those processes, understanding, getting the knowledge, and setting up that strategy, setting up your analysis, doing your trade management, doing your money management, doing all those stuff together, following that process in a real good way, implementing it properly, and then hope to get the results you want, which is very likely. And no, I am not partnering. I've never partnered with them. I advertised them once. and that was the end of it. I don't do any partnership with anybody, but if any broker or any fund company wants to do any promotion with me, I do join promotion. I think we had once when they offered they give 3 or 4 free accounts. I think they give those accounts. To be honest, I can't say I know they give the accounts because I follow up with the people who got the accounts. What happened to the accounts, I don't know. I am not doing anything with them anywhere further because they give the 3 free accounts and that was it. I wanted bigger accounts, but they give small accounts. But we took it and we did the promotion for them, the one-time promotion. In terms of funded account, there is only one setback in any funded account, is the criteria that they're set. The really small lot size you have to trade. Now, if you have very extended time to trade it, and there's like a 4% minimum loss, then you have to go really small, and that's a hard thing to do, controlling yourself. I might find that impossible to do because I like to take risk. I like to go big. Right? You get bored going small if you're used to trading big, right? You used to trade like a different certain way. It's difficult to go back and trade, like take one micro trade. You get bored. You would know that, right? It's like telling someone who's teaching a university or so to go back and teach nursery school. You can do it once in a while, but as a lifetime thing, you will get bored doing it. Like anyway, anything you do in life, right? If you get really good at it, it's hard to go back and start from the bottom and do it, right? Not that you can't do it, it's just that you don't want to do it. It's too boring. You want to challenge yourself more and more every time. You want to get better. But for new traders, it's not a bad thing if you can go very small and trade small and keep that limit that they give you. Use use a proper stop loss and make sure you're getting very small trading, like really, really small, like you're risking 0.1%, 0.2% per trade. And that way your 4% will never get hit. It might take you a very long time, but it's good for practicing. Now, am I saying you should go buy one? You can do the same on a demo account. Now, here's the interesting thing. If you're doing it for practicing purpose, you can do the same on a demo account because you're not going to make a lot of money doing that, right? You can't make a lot of money if you're trading a $10,000 account and you're trading it with one micro trade per time. You're not going to make money. It's a lot of time consuming to make money that way. You can, but if for practice purpose, you can do that in a demo. If the demo is not triggering any emotion in you, then yeah, buy a small one and do it if you can afford it. Consider that money thrown away, but you can buy a small one and do it. You follow what I'm saying, right? Is that it's not an impossible thing to do, but it's going to be very nerve-wracking. It's going to be really small. You'll get bored at some point. You might, But it depends on every person individual. I know people who took it and won it. We had traders in our group who took from different fund accounts, not from one, but from 2 and 3 different ones. And he actually won all of them. I saw his account. He showed me. He did well in all of them. But it's a consistency trading very small all the time, right? Can you zoom into the last wave in areas to see if it's forming a running flat? I mean, a small bullish and running flat. If you're going to trade on the 1 minute, we're not going to do that here. That's not something. Here's the thing. I always tell my traders, if you ask me if this is a valid trade on the 5 minute, I will tell you no. Any of my traders come to me and said, hey, I see a 5-minute flag. Can I trade it? I would say no. And he would say, but it looks like a good flag. I'll say, well, if you know it's a good flag and you have the skill levels to trade the 5 minute, why the hell you need my advice? Right? If you are not confident in trading a 5-minute flag, you should not trade a 5-minute flag. A 1 hour, I'll advise you. A 15-minute, I'll help you. A 5-minute flag, if you don't have the skill level, don't go do it. You have to have the skill levels, which means you have to be absolutely sure about what you're doing. That's the level of trading. And if you're going to the 1 minute to look for running flat in there, you better be sure you know what you're doing, because I'm not going to advise you on that one. Not that you can't do it or it's impossible to do, but it's not something you should do unless you have that skill level. Right? And if you have the skill level, you have to be absolutely sure about it, which means you don't need my advice on that. I'm pretty sure there might be a running flat in there. I can see the way the 5-minute candles are looking. But that thing just needs to go 2 pips and break the top of that running flat, and it will drop like a hot rock in your hand. And you will not be able to close that trade. because you asked me. If you asked me, I'm pretty sure you wouldn't be able to close the trade. If you didn't ask me, I'm pretty sure you could do that trade. You get my point, right? I'm not trying to insult you. I'm trying to let you understand that if you're going to ask anyone, it means you don't have the confidence in that trade as yet. You have to have absolute confidence to trade a 1 minute or a 5 minute chart. That is very important because you're risking your money, right? You're risking what you have. And I'm just going to be honest with you. Now I can go look at it for you, but I don't see the point in doing that. I think you should go back to the 15 minutes and wait for the 15 minutes pattern until you think you have the confidence to trade that 1 minute one. I would say that to every trader, including the traders in my group, if they ask me. They know that. As a golden rule, they know that. If they're trading the 1 minute or 5 minute, don't ask me about that pattern. Right? Because you have to be absolutely good to do it. And if you're that good, then you don't need me to tell you. So everybody trade with care. I would see you guys this afternoon. And there's a lot of very nice setups to trade. Remember, if you miss a trade, that's not the end of the day. Right? You're going to pick yourself up and get another trade the next time. If you lose a trade, that's not the end of the day. You're going to pick yourself up and go repeat that process. No one who has ever been successful in anything in the world has never gone to that success without failure. Right? Or without very hard practicing where the first shot didn't go well. Right? Most people, you ask anybody who's being we hear about their success. We didn't hear what was their path to that success. Right? You don't know how much they struggle, how much hard things they put in, how much effort, how much, they tried to get to that point, and what it took them to get there. How many failures they had before they made it. So just keep working. You'll get there too. Have a great Friday. If I don't see you this afternoon, have a great weekend and trade with care. I'll see you Monday morning when I put out the weekly outlook. Take care, everybody. See you this afternoon. Thank you.